Flooding in Guangzhou breaches crocodile park. Crocodiles found in various parts of the city. Rumor of 20 deaths from mosquito bites in Zhejiang. Authority denies. 48-year-old security guard in Shaanxi dies suddenly in dormitory after 190 consecutive days of overloading work. Female public servant's display of authority goes viral as she threatens hair salon employee. Video surpasses 200 million views. Desperate? Chinese nationals abandoning their children abroad. Analysis: the economy is in serious trouble. Xi Jinping becomes first to violate new CCP legislation. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Flooding in Guangzhou breaches crocodile park. Crocodiles found in various parts of the city. On the evening of September 7th, there was heavy rainfall in the central and southern parts of Guangdong, leading to severe flooding in many areas. Guangzhou city was completely inundated. Notably, there were rumors that the heavy rain had breached the protective barriers of the Qinglong Alligator Park in Guangzhou, causing alligators to escape. A series of viral videos on social media depicted alligators appearing in various streets and courtyards in Guangzhou, causing panic among the local residents. One photo showed what seemed to be a large alligator swimming in the flooded alleyways during the dark night. Another photo depicted a large alligator resting by the edge of the flooded street during daylight, with numerous Chinese advertisements visible on nearby utility poles. There's also a video clip showing a large alligator slowly swimming in the flooded courtyard of a traditional Chinese-style residence. The patterns and sizes of the three alligators mentioned earlier are different, suggesting that there is more than one alligator in the Guangzhou city area. Qinglong Alligator Park, situated in Guangzhou's Panyu district, holds the distinction of being the world's largest alligator breeding facility, with a population of approximately 100,000 alligators representing various species. As reports of Qinglong alligators escaping rapidly circulated, it sparked panic within the local community. Rumor of 20 deaths from mosquito bites in Zhejiang. Authority denies. In recent times, many areas in mainland China have reported cases of dengue fever. In detail, a healthcare worker from the first hospital of Jinghong City in Zhejiang revealed to the Epoch Times that due to the sudden outbreak of dengue fever in the area, the number of daily patients seeking treatment has reached up to 1,200, leading to overcrowding in the hospitals with no available beds. This healthcare worker also emphasized that dengue fever infections must be treated at the hospital, as it is more severe than new coronavirus, with reported deaths, including young patients. At the same time, on mainland China's social media platform, Weibo, some netizens commented, "Dengue fever in Zhejiang is quite serious, mosquito killing efforts are everywhere. My legs were bitten and swelled." Another expressed concerns, saying, "This has become a common illness in Zhejiang recently. Everyone, be cautious." This morning, the neighborhood committee used a loudspeaker downstairs to announce precautions for dengue fever cases, which reminded me of the COVID-19 period when the committee would call us downstairs for nucleic acid testing. Dengue fever cases have emerged in the neighborhood. There is fumigation and mosquito killing every day. On August 11th, a video circulated on the internet showing extensive mosquito killing efforts taking place, specifically targeting the dengue fever virus. Individuals equipped with mosquito killing devices can be seen disinfecting pathways between residential buildings. At the same time, on the Chinese social media platform Nanfang.com, on September 6th, an internet user uploaded a video stating that in Zhejiang, mosquito bites have resulted in more than 20 deaths. The person responsible for the post, Mr. Wang, had recorded a video at the clinic's entrance and shared it on an online platform, stating that the hospital is packed with patients every day. "I've been bitten for 7 or 8 days." Mr. Wang was questioned by the police on September 7th. The report stated that the Public Security Bureau in Jinghong City, Zhejiang, verified the information in collaboration with relevant departments. As of now, there have been no reported deaths due to dengue fever in Zhejiang state, and the content posted by the internet user was deemed to be a rumor. Consequently, Mr. Wang received a 5-day administrative detention penalty. This information immediately sparked a lively discussion on mainland Chinese social media. Some netizens mocked, "In modern times, rumors are stopped by wise people, and does this mean there are more than just a few cases?" Some netizens recalled the initial response of experts during the early days of the 2019 Wuhan pneumonia epidemic, saying, for example, during the epidemic, they spread rumors on TV that there was no human-to-human transmission, and looking at new coronavirus, everything becomes clear. Some also recalled the official wording during the 2-month lockdown in Shanghai in 2022, Shanghai residents voluntarily staying home for 2 months. 48-year-old security guard in Shaanxi dies suddenly in dormitory after 190 consecutive days of overloading work. The combination of high work intensity, poor working conditions, and the ongoing issue of unpaid wages in mainland China has led to many tragedies for the people. Recently, Mr. Zhao, a 48-year-old security guard who had been working at Zhongshan Lida Knitting Factory Company, Limited in Guangdong Province, tragically passed away after enduring 190 days of work under high temperatures. In detail, Mrs. Li, Mr. Zhao's wife, has asserted that her husband's death was directly linked to the company. Before his demise, Mr. Zhao toiled for 12 hours daily, without a single day off, for over 190 consecutive days, subjecting himself to severe overwork. Additionally, the security room was cramped, measuring only about 10 square meters in size. Given the local temperatures exceeding 40 degrees Celsius, the indoor temperature also soared beyond 40 degrees Celsius. Nevertheless, the company provided nothing more than an electric fan for cooling. In addition, the family provided clock-in records that clearly show Mr. Zhao never had any breaks during his working hours. In response, the company's representative explained that the reason Mr. Zhao wasn't granted a day off for a staggering 190 days was due to difficulties in managing leave schedules. Regarding the persistently high-temperature work environment, this individual stated that Mr. Zhao's security duty room was equipped with a fan and even provided cooling tea. The conditions in the security room were considered much better compared to the working environment for frontline workers in the workshop. This report has sparked discussions on China's social media platform, Weibo. Some users shared similar cases they were aware of, saying, "At my previous workplace, someone suddenly died while working. There was no air conditioning, and the person was a young man, the primary breadwinner for his family. In the end, it was settled with compensation." Some mentioned, "In our school's security room, they never allow us to use air conditioning, and if you do, you get fined." Some netizens criticized the Chinese Communist authorities for not enforcing the law, stating, "Labor laws are just for show." The higher-ups turn a blind eye to it, and only in China can people be worked to death on the job. In recent years, similar incidents have occurred frequently in mainland China, where workers' rights are not adequately protected, and labor laws are essentially ignored. Whether blue-collar or white-collar, employees in mainland China are often forced to work long hours, with the 996 schedule, working from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week, becoming a common corporate culture. In 2021, Li Chang, the executive director of China Labor Watch based in New York, stated to Voice of America that Chinese laborers frequently face exploitation and harassment by employers, and seeking justice through legal means is exceedingly challenging and often comes at a significant cost. The legally mandated working hours for Chinese workers are not guaranteed. This is because, on one hand, the CCP upholds the interests of its authoritarian elite by exploiting laborers, and on the other hand, it sacrifices laborers' interests by providing cheap labor to attract foreign capital into China. Female public servant's display of authority goes viral as she threatens hair salon employee. Video surpasses 200 million views. On September 8, a viral video captured a situation where a female government official threatened the owner of a hair salon simply because he didn't follow her request. The video has been circulating on social media platforms in mainland China, garnering public attention. In detail, in the video, the woman is sitting in a barber shop chair, saying, "Can it be done?" The man in black, the barber, behind her tells her, "It's too dry, can't be done, miss." The woman repeatedly brings her phone screen in front of the staff, showing what appear to be identification photos, and repeatedly asks in a threatening tone, "Will you do it?" She doesn't listen to the staff's explanations at all and even threatens, "I don't want to say, wait for me to change my clothes, I'll call our team to come." On the same day, Mr. Su, the shop owner dressed in black, recounted the incident to Shaoxiang Morning News. The woman customer had visited the salon, seeking a protein hair straightening treatment. Following the hair wash, he advised her that her hair's texture was too coarse and dry for the procedure. He suggested that she should improve her hair's condition and return at a later time. Surprisingly, she became irate and proceeded to show me her identification photos. Surprisingly, the local tax authorities paid him a visit the very next day and compelled him to undergo a tax audit. As a self-employed small business owner, his annual income falls below the taxable threshold. He grew increasingly angry because he had to run around to substantiate his case. Mr. Su lamented, "It's pure arrogance. Once they get a taste of power, they use it to oppress others." Mr. Su recounted that on September 6, someone who identified themselves as the woman's colleague visited his shop to offer an apology and requested the removal of the video. But he declined. Later, the woman involved also came to the shop to extend her apology. However, Mr. Su expressed skepticism about her sincerity, as she continually emphasized that if he didn't forgive her, she could lose her job. Reports indicate that the woman in question, named Wang, is employed at the Agriculture and Rural Affairs Bureau of Tianjin County. Under mounting public pressure, Tianjin County authorities confirmed the incident and announced that Wang has now received a formal disciplinary warning. This incident has stirred up a lively discussion among Chinese netizens, with some calling for Wang's dismissal due to her lack of qualities as a public servant. Several netizens remarked, "This is an abuse of official authority. Even a lower-ranking staff member has become arrogant." The ability to influence others' destinies with just a bit of power is genuinely concerning. Desperate? Chinese nationals abandoning their children abroad. Analysis: the economy is in serious trouble. As China's economy experiences a decline, the financial burden on the middle and lower income segments is becoming increasingly oppressive. There have been many cases of Chinese parents fleeing abroad, leaving their children behind there, and then departing themselves. On September 8, the South Korean Central Daily News reported that the Jeju Island Police Department has arrested and charged a Chinese man in his 30s with violating the Child Welfare Act. This man stands accused of leaving his 9-year-old son unattended to sleep in a Jeju Island park early last month and subsequently departing himself. The man readily admitted that his intention in coming to Jeju Island was to leave his son behind, hoping the child could grow up in a better environment provided by South Korean child protection institutions. Given his single status and financial hardships, he found it impossible to care for his son. Currently, authorities have disclosed that the child has since been entrusted to relatives in China, and on the 7th of this month, he departed South Korea. Regarding this matter, senior media person Akio Yaida stated that the father, in a situation where he had no money, wandered in the park with his son for 8 days. He must have been struggling with a difficult decision, and it doesn't seem like he's a heartless person. It's likely that he resorted to this desperate action because he felt trapped, with no options left due to severe economic challenges in China. In his perspective, the overall environment and social welfare facilities in China are inadequate, leading him to choose leaving his child alone in a foreign country over placing him in a Chinese welfare institution. Akio Yabe also pointed out that as China's economy continues to decline, similar cases might occur in Japan or Taiwan, and it's essential for countries and relevant authorities to stay vigilant. In July this year, a 37-year-old mainland Chinese woman abandoned her 12-year-old son in a Hong Kong hospital and was subsequently arrested. Both parents were mainland Chinese, and the woman claimed she left her son in Hong Kong to provide him with a better education. Under the rule of the CCP, the political and economic environment in China is deteriorating, prompting many affluent individuals to emigrate. Those unable to leave legally are willing to take dangerous routes, such as the line through Latin America, to enter the United States. Recently, photos circulated online showing a large mainland Chinese family, consisting of dozens of members, who had just arrived in the United States through this route. According to data from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, in the 6 months since October 2022, the number of Chinese citizens arrested at the U.S.-Mexico border has exceeded 6,500, marking an increase of more than 15 times compared to the same period last year, reaching a historic high. Furthermore, according to reports from the Wall Street Journal, data from Panama shows that the number of Chinese immigrants entering Panama via the dangerous Darien Gap jungle route surged to around 2,200 between January and February this year. During the same period last year, only 71 Chinese immigrants were recorded. Xi Jinping becomes first to violate new CCP legislation. The recent revised draft of the Public Security Management Penalty Law, reviewed and published by the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress in China, outlines that fines and detention will be imposed for wearing clothing or symbols that are considered detrimental to the spirit of the Chinese nation or that harm the sentiments of the Chinese nation. Additionally, producing, disseminating, promoting, or spreading items or speech that are seen as damaging to the spirit of the Chinese nation or harmful to Chinese national feelings will also result in penalties. This controversial law from the CCP has sparked a significant backlash and heated discussions both within and outside China. Many internet users have responded to the government's attempt to restrict clothing freedom by creating related images and content. On Twitter, a user named @OurFuture2225 shared a photo of Xi Jinping wearing a suit and humorously commented, "So Xi Jinping is the first one to break the law." Independent commentator Kai Shinkoan, also on Twitter, expressed, "Since 1949, what people wear in China has become a political issue. Traditional Cheongsam dresses were prohibited, and even suits were considered decadent and had to be abandoned." This clothing standardization escalated during the Cultural Revolution. Even in the later stages of the Cultural Revolution and the early days of reform, slightly unique clothing was labeled as eccentric, and even minor alterations to the size of pant legs were subjected to sharp scissors. Don't underestimate the control over clothing. This could be the start of a new era. In any era, you can judge a person's essence in an instant, and their destiny may greatly differ from those who spend half their lives in confusion. Transformations in an era cannot be anticipated through the ruler's self-awareness. If you're unwilling to conform and lack the courage to resist, you're left with only two choices: death or escape. As the character Forrest Gump in the movie of the same name once said, "If you encounter trouble, don't be stubborn, just run far away." Netizen Chuana Xiaoyang posted a photo of Lu Xun, a leading figure of modern Chinese literature, wearing a kimono from his earlier years on the Twitter and made the following statement: "In the last century, there was an individual who, during his youth, was extremely critical of and defamed traditional Chinese medicine following his father's death. Later, he went to Japan for studies and frequently appeared in public wearing kimonos. After returning to China, he wrote multiple articles that insulted Chinese culture, attacked the Chinese people, and believed that Chinese people had inherent flaws. Surprisingly, it is individuals like him whose works have appeared in large quantities in Chinese language textbooks as harmful educational materials. The new security management penalty law should be used to bring these individuals to justice." Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.